gentlemen. Ready?
And it's going to be the Jazz off the tip. And now the opening lineup for Detroit. Andre Drummond is out there with Griffin. Then it's Johnson. Then there's Reggie Bullock. And it's Smith in at the point. And the shot goes in from Rudy Gobert. Doris, we may not see a lot of small ball this evening. Two teams that are deadly operating on the blocks. How have they been successful with that, where other teams haven't?
Well, it's fascinating, Kev, because from a personnel standpoint, they have elected to play with size. And there's a commitment to that, pounding the ball deep into the post every trip down.
5 on the clock. In the corner, it's Griffin. And he hits it just before the shot clock expires.
I'll tell you, sometimes it's easier to hit the target with a bounce pass. That's perfectly done.
And Rubio kicks to Mitchell. About 1 minute into the first quarter. Favors dishes to Mitchell, and Reggie Bullock gets the whistle that time. That is his first foul of the game. Mitchell kicks to Favors. Mitchell passes to Gobert. Shot clock at 6. The Jazz need to get off a shot here. Magnificent rejection. And the shot clock expires. 24-second violation. Utah's on defense. Smith outside. Griffin kicks to Drummond. Pistons passing it around. Offensive rebound. He dishes it to Johnson. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Jazz will take it. And here in the first, closing in on 2 minutes play.
And watching Andre Drummond play, he's really just an old school type center. I mean, he eats up space in the middle and finishes plays in close. Not a skill guy who can pull a defender away from the basket.
Wow, able to survey over the top of defenses as well as squeeze into tight quarters. Rubio is the consummate playmaker.
Here's Mitchell. To the middle. Out to Favors. Lets it go from deep. And they pick up 2. Gobert's got 6.
You know, outstanding start. You've made 3 of your first 4.
Detroit with the ball. Trailing by 4. Smith dishes to Bullock. Johnson at the elbow. In the corner, it's Griffin. Detroit, no good that time either. For Utah, they've gone 3 of 4 from the field to start out the game. It's taken away by Smith. Johnson attacking. Pass to Griffin. It's good with the assist that time from Johnson. Griffin's got his second bucket of the night.
And setting the tone early with a strong move to the rack.
Boy, seizing control right away. Send a message on that possession.
And there's the call on Andre Drummond. That's his first foul. Timeout is called, first of the game for the Jazz. And the Jazz have been one of the more old-school franchises. Pounded inside, grind out victories. They're still a tough defensive team, but Doris, Coach Quinn Snyder is receptive to a wide-open style of play.
Right. Quinn wants them to play with pace, look for easy opportunities. He also likes power forwards who can stretch the floor. He understands that's the way the league is going, and he's on board with it.
Yeah, you can sense he wasn't happy with how things are going here. Probably looking to change it up a bit.
Yeah, no, not at all. It's a good call, Greg. They need a fresh, new approach here.
For the Pistons, Ennis, he's checked in for Johnson. Langston Galloway comes in for Reggie Bullock, and Nelson is subbed in for Ish Smith. Gobert against Drummond. Gobert the pass to Favors. Misses from close range.
Challenging the shot has almost the same effect as blocking it.
No doubt, especially when the shooter knows that a defender is draped all over him. That kind of activity alters shots.
Now Rubio, following Jameer Nelson's three-point attempt. And here's Rubio. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. And here we go. The Pistons fast break. Oh, Griffin in position. Throws down the alley-oop slam.
And you can put those alley-oop feeds as high as you need to when Griffin's on the receiving end. He'll pick it up off the top of the backboard if he has to.
Great way to see the alley-oop. That replay courtesy of Under Armour. Another Unleash Chaos moment. Now here's Favors. Shot clock at 6. Here's Rubio. The offensive rebound. Second chance shot. And the call will be against Jameer Nelson. That is his first foul of the game. Unable to get the ball in bounds. They get called for the 5-second violation.
And if you really want to make things hard on yourselves, this is exactly how you do it. Turnovers on back-to-back trips down the floor.
He feeds it to Galloway. Now here's Griffin. He has 6. He kicks it to Drummond. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Pistons will retain possession. Johnson, he's checked in for Ennis. .30 seconds left in the first quarter. Just 5 on the clock. Galloway kicks to Nelson. Hits it from three-point range. Nelson's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game. Right side Favors, and they get it, and Derek Favors with the slam.
I'll tell you, solid concentration from the big man. Derek Favors fights through the contact thanks to all of that strength in his upper body.
Utah shooting their first free throw of the game here.
And they were 75% from the line a season ago.
And I think for Derek Favors, it's a matter of continuing to improve your game, especially on the defensive end of the floor.
Stolen by Mitchell. No one near him. Tries again, and it's out of bounds, and they say last touch by Griffin. Here's Mitchell. Tie game in Utah. Let's take a quick break now, and then it's on to the second quarter after this. Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. What do you guys think about the Jazz here in this one?
I'll tell you, when you take care of the backboards, good things seem to happen.
Well, I think it's been a priority to hit the glass, no doubt, and using their length and athleticism to perfection on the boards.
Who are some of the guys that surprise you with their toughness on a nightly basis in the NBA?
You know, you have to think historically, pound for pound in the history of the NBA, the toughest single guy was Allen Iverson. For me, the current iteration, and I'm not saying that Isaiah Thomas is Allen Iverson. They're drastically different players because Isaiah doesn't have that kind of athleticism that AI had early. But Isaiah at 5'9", to continually find his way into the paint, to be willing to attack the bigs, to absorb the kind of pounding he does, and get himself into the MVP conversation, Kevin, really, that was incredible.
LeBron probably takes, for a guy his size, you think he can dish it out. But I'm telling you, I think he gets whacked all the time.
I think, Kevin, this is the single hardest guy in the NBA to officiate today. And frankly, I do not believe LeBron James goes to the foul line as much as he deserves.
Well said. On the court for the Pistons, Griffin is out there with Johnson. Then it's Jameer Nelson. Then there's Reggie Bullock. And it's Moreland in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. And the free throw, no good. The Pistons trailing. Nelson, right side, trying to go for an alley-oop, but excellent defense and anticipation there to stop it. The jump hook. Bank shot, no good. Second quarter of basketball, about 1 minute played so far. Bullock kicks to Nelson. Gobert with the block.
Well, this is the calling card of Rudy Gobert, a superb shot blocker. The wingspan is a thing of beauty.
And Reggie Bullock gets the whistle that time. That's foul number 2 for him. Detroit on D, trailing by 2, and good that time. Gobert's got 8.
Rudy Gobert is becoming a handful down deep. He's quick, he's confident, and he's got gorgeous touch.
Nelson kicks to Moreland. Gobert with the defensive effort.
Boy, too much traffic in the lane. Very difficult finish with the defense draped all over him.
And when you look at what the Pistons have done, pretty clear this is a team that has a vision of who they want to be. Strong defensively, really good at rebounding the basketball, and I think deliberate and patient on the offensive side of the floor.
And now the fast break. Griffin with the ball. The second chance effort, and he got the whistle, so he'll have a three-point play opportunity.
I'll tell you, good things always come when you've got players who work hard for second chance opportunities.
And with the Pistons, this has been the identity the team has been aiming for under Stan Van Gundy. It's taken shape, but has yet, Greg, to produce big results.
I think it's because they've just always been 1 or 2 pieces short of making that next jump. I think the conference has gotten stronger, and while their best players are really good, I don't think they're quite at that elite level yet to allow this group to take that next step.
Now, here's Burks. Clock at 6. Yarebko in the post. Defended by Griffin. And it's going to be a 24-second shot clock violation. They turn it over. Udo's checked in for the Jazz. And the Pistons decide to take their first timeout right here. And the depth of this Jazz team, definitely one of its strong points.
Well, I think one of the best benches in the league, certainly, and it's been a hallmark of well-run franchises. It's not just the centerpieces, but every piece that affects the final outcome.
Different look here for the Pistons. The Pistons have gotten only one of their first 4 shots in the second quarter to drop. Smith outside. Kicks it to Ellenson. He nails it, and we're tied up.
I'll tell you, Kev, they wouldn't object if all their looks were that close.
Jazz have gone 2 of 4 shooting the ball here in the second. Neto, the pass to Urebko. Another miss by Utah. Pistons shooting pretty well at 46% from the floor. Ellenson dishes to Smith. And that misses. That would have put him up.
Yeah, but the defenders draped all over him. He just could not shake loose.
And the Jazz call time here. Doris, you've interviewed so many great players and coaches. What are some of the key personality traits that stars seem to share?
Yeah, I would say it's probably like somebody who's either a lawyer or a doctor, right? They're always A-type personalities. They're competitive. They're perfectionists. They have great capacity for work. I don't think you make it to the NBA unless you're incredibly committed.
Well said. And for a Jazz team that had patiently built itself into one of the top teams in the league, how tough is it, Doris, to lose a player like Gordon Hayward?
Well, it's brutal. He was their best player, an all-star, a huge blow. Because you think about Utah fans who have harbored concerns historically about the team's ability to retain star talent. This will feed those doubts, Kev.
And Ellenson throws it down.
Yeah, how about the sharp steal and then run out? It looks like they're ready to put the hammer down.
Well, we've been waiting for one of these teams, Greg, to pull away. Maybe that'll be a springboard for them.
Yeah, a big change of possession in a tight ball game. We'll see if they've seized the momentum.
Here's Rubio after the basket by Detroit. And Ellenson pulls it down.
Boy, that's exactly how you have to play defense when he's driving the lane. You cannot give him any space.
And stolen by Favors. A shot by Burks. Nobody around. Nailed from three-point land. And the Jazz lead by 1. The Pistons have gone 3 of 7 shooting the ball here in the second quarter. Now a timeout called by Detroit.
Well, Derek Favors has always gotten a lot of credit for his defensive abilities, but to me, his offense has come such a long way since he came out of Georgia Tech.
Different look for Utah. Gobert, he's checked in for Udo. And it's Joe Ingles in for Crowder. Now Smith. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. Drummond. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. And Favors a good post threat. Doris, he can hit that hook shot with either hand.
And the footwork serves him well in the pick and roll. Even when the help is there, this guy can maneuver and create his own shot around the rim.
For Detroit, they have gone 0 for 1 at the line. This is their second trip to the line tonight.
One of the worst in the league a season ago, just 72%.
Free throw good, Drummond.
And one thing that you can say about this Pistons team is they are fundamentally sound, strong on the glass and closing out possessions, and they really don't make a lot of mistakes.
That one misses. Greg, with the Pistons and their discipline as a team, part of their great rebounding means they allow very few second chance points, one of the fewest allowed in the league last season.
And couple that with how strong they've been at taking care of the basketball. Low turnover numbers as well as points allowed off of those turnovers. And with that rebounding, I think it makes for very measured basketball.
That drops, and it comes off an assist from Griffin. And the Pistons lead by 2. Rubio with it. Now Smith defending. Ennis kicks to Smith. Griffin against Favors. Griffin passes to Drummond. And Drummond throws it down.
What a find by Griffin. He's a lot more skilled as a passer than he gets credit for as far as power forwards go. He has terrific vision.
Outside Favors. Rubio with it. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. And Gobert kicks to Favors. And there's the call on Andre Drummond. That's foul number 2 for him. Five seconds left to play in the first half.
Burks takes no time getting that shot up, ready on the catch.
And so it's a close game as we wrap up the first half of basketball. Pistons lead by 1. And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Thank you, Kevin. With Coach Quinn Snyder. Quinn, what has to happen in the second half?
Well, we got to keep getting stops and really just make plays. Make plays on the offensive end and be solid defensively. No magic.
It's a pretty simple game, right, Coach? Thanks for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks so much, Dave, for the great interview. Don't go away, folks. We'll be back for the second half of basketball right after this.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the Halftime Show on 2K Sports. Ernie Johnson here with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. It was a closely contested first quarter for Detroit. They were unable to ever build a big lead in the first period, with 3 points being their largest cushion. They battled hard in the second quarter, and it was reflected on the scoreboard. Kenny, what's your take on Detroit so far?
I was super impressed with their shot selection. I think that was part of the strategy coming in. They wanted to be patient with the basketball, move it around, and get high percentage looks. Obviously, that's going to be big.
And Shaq, how'd you think the Jazz were playing?
Well, I thought the one bright spot was the effort on the glass. Several times when momentum was sliding, getting a timely rebound really lifted them. The strong work on the glass is key because that's how you string together a series of big stops.
That's it for halftime, as the second half is just about to get underway.
We welcome you back now to Salt Lake City with a breathtaking view of the layout of this beautiful town. Here we go now, the start of the third quarter, welcoming you back in a closely contested first half so far. You look at Blake Griffin in this game, he's been everywhere.
Well, they've done a good job of letting the game come to them and really few.
The Pistons leading. Third quarter action getting rolling right now, brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Here's who's on the floor. So on the floor for Utah, the tough defending Favors and Gobert make up the big men. Ricky Rubio is out there with Alec Burks, and it's Ingles in at the 3. Drummond's gone 3 for 5 from the field.
And you look back early in his career, Rudy Gobert, he kind of clogged things up just as much at the offensive end as he did defensively. And I tell you what, though, he's made significant strides, becoming much less of a liability on offense.
You know, you've got to be composed mentally right now at this time of the game. It's really careless play right there.
Pistons leading by 3. Smith dishes to Bullock. Left side, Griffin. Gets an open look and hits. Griffin's got 10 points.
Boy, this guy's a rock. You know, this is a player that you can count on to produce under any circumstance.
Burks in the corner. Griffin with the steal. Oh, Griffin in position and out of bounds as Utah gains possession.
Well, he's obviously anticipating different movement there, and instead of an easy connection, the pass sails straight into the front row.
Jazz trail by 5. Burks for 3. It's Drummond with the rebound. Smith right side. Kicks it out to Johnson. It's stolen by Ingles. And the Jazz pushing it up now. Will not go. This is off the front iron. Pistons leading by 5. Bullock passes to Griffin. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2. One of the most impressive things about Blake Griffin is, Greg, when he gets out and runs the open floor.
Yeah, not to mention his ability to run the break himself. A terrific ball handler, even under pressure, and one of the best passers at the 4 in the league, if not the best.
Good on the second free throw.
And no longer a guy you're okay to foul. Griffin's made steady improvement at the free throw line.
The dish to Gobert. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2. Andre Drummond picks one up.
Well, you look at the physique of Rudy Gobert, it's clear he's putting on more and more muscle. He's now over 250 pounds. The key is not just for holding position, but holding up physically in the rigors of the NBA.
No good on that one. And for Gobert, whose offensive game is mostly comprised, Doris, of dunks and layups, adding that strength has got to be critical, wouldn't you say?
Oh, no doubt, Kev. We see his field goal percentage steadily climbing since his rookie season, and I think strength has a big impact on your ability to be one of the best finishers in the league.
Mitchell, he's checked in for Burks. He hits the second from the line.
Don't you love Rudy Gobert's nickname, Kevin? The Stifle Tower. He can be a menacing presence.
And now around 2 minutes gone by in this half. Back to Smith, and stolen by Favors. Here's Ingles, and that one is good.
This is one of the purest point guards to come around in quite some time. He is, Rubio, the ultimate distributor.
Now a timeout called by Detroit.
And Ricky Rubio, known mostly for his ability to pass it and create opportunities for teammates, but I think he's an underrated defender at that point guard spot, and maybe he doesn't get the credit he deserves defensively.
A different look for Utah. Udo's checked in for Rudy Gobert. Urebko comes in for Derek Favors. And Raul Netos subbed in for Ricky Rubio. And Greg, for Rubio, his defense is something that isn't talked about, but is certainly present all the time.
Yeah, I mean, he's smart, fast, he moves his feet well, and has terrific anticipation with his hands. Great playing both on and off the ball, and just aware of his spacing and a player's tendencies.
The Pistons have come up with 3 misses and 5 attempts so far at the line. And that one misses. Doris, they say that one of the toughest things about calling a game is balancing pure basketball knowledge with entertainment. What's your approach with that topic?
Do you know that was the last piece of broadcasting that I think fell into place for me? For a long time, I felt like I was proving myself, Kevin, so I didn't relax and enjoy it. But my son one time said to me, when we were watching a game, he said, Mom, you have to understand when the announcers are having fun, we're having fun.
Chemistry is such a big part of it, isn't it?
Crucial.
The wide open look here for Ingles. No good on the 3.
That's as good a look as he's going to get beyond the arc, but there are no sure things from that range, even for him.
Got that bucket in no time at all. Now it's a 7-point Piston lead.
Such a great example of Galloway not needing a lot of time to get off that catch and shoot.
Utah calls timeout.
Well, without great floor spacing, the Jazz have to work harder than most teams to find quality shots. They're very patient and methodical running their offense.
Rudy Gobert, who's checked in for the Jazz. Crowder comes in for Joe Ingles. There's 1:47 left to play here in the third. And the Jazz run a half-court offense. A lot of cuts and screens to create their shots.
Well, they are right near the top in what we call screen assists. Shots created off a screen. Ironically, not a ton of regular assists, despite all the passing required in their offense.
It's Drummond with the drive. The pass to Bullock. Here's Griffin. 11 points in the game. 6 to shoot. And the slam by Blake Griffin.
Yeah, how about the strength and focus there of Griffin? Absorbs the hit and still finishes.
1:03 left in the third quarter. Pass to Urepko. High post, Gobert working on Drummond. And Griffin sends it back. And here we go. The Pistons fast break. A chance to extend the lead to double digits, but it's no good. Here's Mitchell. Another miss by Utah.
He does everything right except drain the shot.
And Drummond kicks to Johnson. Back to Drummond. Shoots the three. Utah with the rebound. It's Crowder on the wing. He's guarded by Johnson. Here's Mitchell. Out of bounds. Detroit takes possession. Johnson, that's for two. And so it's the Detroit Pistons in control with a 9-point lead to end the quarter. They've been playing some ferocious defense. We'll take a quick break and then back to the action here. Let's listen in now to head coach Stan Van Gundy from a few moments ago.
We need to make solid plays, okay? Solid plays, aggressive plays.
Hello and thanks for joining us, folks. The fourth quarter of play getting started. Jazz trail by 9 and on the floor for Detroit here in the fourth. We've got Ish Smith. Andre Drummond is out there with Griffin. Then it's Johnson and it's Bullock in at the shooting guard. Neto kicks to Gobert. They set the pick. 5 to shoot. There's the three. Mitchell's shot is good. Mitchell's got the first basket as we get going in the fourth for Utah.
Gentlemen, this guy goes from good three-point shooter to great when you give him that kind of space.
Oh, inflicting some punishment with the two-hand flush.
They're going for the throat. The Jazz shooting just 39% from the field, struggling to find that net. Rebounded by the Pistons. Griffin's got his third rebound on the night.
I'll tell you, he hasn't been able to find the mark all night. It's a big reason they're staring at this deficit.
Johnson dishes to Drummond. The feed to Bullock. Outside Griffin. Bullock kicks to Griffin. Time called here. The Pistons decide to talk it over.
Start it.
And while most teams are moving in the direction of attacking from three-point range or inside, Greg, this Pistons team will still look to make a living in the mid-range game.
Yeah, and the Pistons right at the top of the NBA in terms of the highest percentage of their points coming from the mid-range. Almost 20% of their points coming from that area. You have to play to the strengths of your team, even in an ever-evolving game. Right now, that's where their bread is buttered.
Looking at who's out there now for the Jazz. Derek Favors checked in for Urepko. Joe Ingles comes in for Crowder. And Ricky Rubio subbed in for Raul Neto. Now let's go to the sideline and catch up with our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge.
Well, during that last break, Kevin, I got a chance to hear what Stan Van Gundy told the team. He told them, put your foot on their neck. Take it to them. I want to see you guys slow it down out there, use the clock, and stay away from silly fouls. Let's see if they can execute the plan, guys.
The shot by Johnson, no good. Jazz trail by 8. Here's Mitchell. Feeds it to Favors. Out to the right wing. Second minute off the clock now in the fourth. And Rubio kicks to Favors. Rubio against Nelson. Rubio the pass to Favors. Second shot opportunity, and that's good for two.
Yeah, Kev, the defense has got to be aware of Derek Favors. This guy is especially effective at using his height near the rim.
Bullock dishes to Drummond, uses the glass to finish the layup. Drummond's got 4 points now in the quarter.
Well, he's kept them in balance tonight. This guy's shooting has put them in front.
Ball's knocked loose and stolen by Drummond. Pistons leading by 8. And here's Nelson. Here is Tolliver. Here's Johnson. And count it, and a chance for one more at the free throw line.
Amazing how he gets this one to go. Size doesn't matter.
What fearlessness, right? He likes to go at taller defenders, and he shows he has what it takes to get it done.
A different look here for Detroit. Blake Griffin, he's checked in for Tolliver. And Smith subbed in for Jameer Nelson. Fourth quarter keeps moving right along. 3 minutes gone so far. Dishes it to Ingles. Over Drummond. Misses off the left iron.
Boy, that's just the kind of tight defense you need to play on him. Any kind of room at all, and he'll bury it.
Bullock kicks to Griffin. And the rejection by Favors.
Derek Favors using that long frame to send that back twice on the pipes, Kevin.
Now a timeout called by Detroit. They're up by 9. 1:39 left to play here in the fourth.
And if you're sensing a concern, best thing you can do is call timeout.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt. You've got to get this game under control. I think he sees some adjustments he can make.
A chance now to recognize our Jordan Player of the Game, Blake Griffin.
And his shooting percentage reflects just how efficient he's been. It's better than 50%, always a sign of a solid offensive performance. But his movement and his shot selection have also both been tremendous.
There must be something about playing in a hostile environment that drives him. He is really fed off that. A different look here for Detroit. James Ennis comes in for Johnson. And it's Kennard in for Reggie Bullock. And stolen by Favors. 1:32 left in the fourth quarter, and the shot goes in. Mitchell's got 5 points in the quarter. Pistons leading by 7. And it's Smith penetrating. Outside for Griffin. Ennis in the corner. And he uses the glass on the layup. And the Pistons lead by 9.
Oh, my goodness. That is how to attack the rim. Don't give the defense time to react. That's beautiful.
Ingles can't get it to go.
And I thought that was going to drop. It looked good from here.
Lets it go from 11. Great D that time from Favors. Jazz have gotten just under 45% of their attempts to drop in the fourth. 4 of 9. Ingles kicks to Favors. Here's Mitchell. And it's off from three-point range. Griffin goes in. It's stolen by Gobert.
And with the time remaining, I'm just not seeing it.
No, nor am I, Greg. There's no question. They're too far behind. Not their best effort, for sure.
Now here's Ennis. Ingles covering. And stolen by Favors. Here's Mitchell. True on the 14-footer. There's 10 seconds left to play in the final quarter. Smith on the wing. And Drummond throws it down.
And when he gets himself into the right position, Drummond so powerful in terms of finishing at the rim. The only way to prevent that alley-oop is to keep him from getting to the launching pad in the first place.
And so the Pistons take the win. This was a very strong showing for him, Greg. Not necessarily a runaway win, but one they'll feel very good about.
And let's face it, anytime you can go on the road and win in the fashion they did, you have to feel good about it. Really an outstanding effort all the way around.
And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thank you, Kevin. Blake, very strong game offensively. What gave you the confidence to take over?
Just putting in the